Hello, and welcome back to another Psycho recap where I go through the campaign that has become my favorite of all time, and I try and remember all the little details that happened. Last we left off, the gang of Austin and Heron had accidentally gotten a kobold killed and were blamed for his murder until Austin made a deal with the devil, literally, and got his name cleared, and so far it seems like he got away scot-free. At this point, they go back to the festival and are enjoying things, and then the festival keeps going. They retire for the night. In the morning, however, things are much more sour as they awaken to find Dahlman, the town sheriff, basically asking them once again for help, as one of the leaders of the village, a holy woman, whose name I can't remember, but she had fallen ill. So they needed somebody, Austin and Heron, to go across the valley to an area where these special flowers grow that can be used to create an elixir that will revitalize and heal people. It's not a health potion, it's more of a... It kind of falls under like greater restoration, lesser restoration. But anyways, that's what they need. So Austin and Heron, rather than getting to enjoy the rest of the festival, they head off to the valley. As they're going, they run into a giant caravan. Now, giants play a semi-pivotal role in the story going forward. Nothing right away. They just literally started engaging with them last session. Or the session before. Like actual, not the recap, but the actual sessions that are posted to my YouTube. The giants now play a pivotal role. But they run into these giant merchants and they're selling things. And this is where Austin picks himself up a cloak of displacement. Which, if you know what it does, you know that it can be the bane of any dungeon master. But they go into the valley. They are scouring around. They find the flower. At this point, it took them about a couple hours to get there, a couple hours back, a couple hours to get the flower. So they start coming back at nightfall. And as they crest over the valley pass, they see that the village of Psycha, the city, town, whatever, is under attack. It's on fire. There's smoke billowing out. There is just chaos everywhere. They make a mad dash towards the village, and this is where they find demons. Mainly some homebrew demons I made. I didn't make them. I just changed them. Like I took a stat block and changed the name. But they're fighting them, and they run into people that they know from the village. They're seeing them die. They find Dahlman. He is dead. He has been killed by the demons. They get mad. And they're trying to figure out where this is coming from. I think Dahlman was alive long enough to tell them, head to the center of town. So they're fighting through these demons. They're just massacring them. Because the demons are all low level. The point was, the demons can kill commoners, but they're not going to be too much of a fight for Austin and Heron. So they're slaughtering through these demons, fighting their way. They get to the center of town, and what do they see? They see the elf king standing on a stage, infusing himself with some demonic magic. This is where things come to a head. King, from here on out, becomes the main antagonist of this story. Like, they want revenge, they are hunting him down. That is what the point of this campaign became. This was all improv on my part. I'm not bragging, I'm literally saying I had an idea, a couple ideas of who the bad guys would be that are causing destruction. I went through maybe the Australian Empire invades, maybe the not the Underdark people. No, they were fine. It was Australian Empire. I was like going through a couple of ideas that I can't think of at the top of my head, but I was going through them, and the main point was the village is going to be destroyed. It just matters who does it. And eventually, I was like, you know what? I've got a backstory on King. I won't tell it because my players still listen to these. But I was like, I'm going to use King as the bad guy. A powerful magic user, infused with demonic magic, which they, at this point, have learned enough that they know where his magic comes from. They know what powers him. And I will tell you, he is powered by a proto-deity called the Devourer. The Maw, the Leech, whatever you want to call it. Which I've used, like I've said, I've used it in multiple campaigns to little effect. The players typically don't hook on to it. It's like mentioned and they just go on their merry way. But this campaign, King became such a pivotal bad guy that the Devourer took center stage in this campaign. But I'm getting ahead of myself. They fight King. And by Fight King, I mean he runs away like a little bitch and leaves one of his elven followers behind. She transforms into a powerful demon, and this is where the actual fight takes place. Now, Austin is, I don't know if he's min-maxed, but he's a pretty powerful gunslinger. Even I think he was only level 10 still. But he and Heron, I almost called him Sobek. He and Heron take down the demon. They don't kill her, though. She reverts back to an elf, and they throw her in prison. And they go after this. The town is destroyed. Many people died. Many people they knew died. Sidney, the blacksmith, who Heron was renting a room from, him and his wife both died. And at this point, that's when Heron decides he's going to adopt the orphan children, which is noble, and it comes into play later. But he adopts the children. Austin finds out that the tavern where he was living, the Happy Harpy, Pent, his family was killed in the attack. He is completely heartbroken. He's completely downtrodden. And he approaches Austin and says, if you bring King back alive, I will give you every coin I've ever made. As another incentive. The thing is, I was giving them incentives like, you're going to get a big payday. They didn't care. They wanted revenge. And that is a huge point of the campaign going forward. They've fought King, I think, only twice. But he's gotten away both times. With the help of his patron and his own magical powers. But yeah, they basically are in a ruined town. People, they're starting to come back to. They're trying to rebuild. Dahlman is dead. Bilt, the mayor, is still in charge, but he is not. He's not so much. He's kind of shell shocked. He doesn't know what to do. He's a mayor. He's not a fighter. He's not a soldier. He literally is just a mayor. So he doesn't know what to do. So Austin decides to interrogate the elf who's still alive. They go down in the cell block. She explains, he's headed to Hag's End. She doesn't. I don't remember if she spilled the beans or if she was resistant. I think I may have played her being kind of like a non-compliant combatant. Like she didn't agree to this. She's just doing what King says. But she tries to get away, and Austin kills her. Straight up, it doesn't murder her. He kills her. It's murder, I guess. But this is at the point where I nicknamed this campaign my moral dilemma campaign, because so far, I've given them positions and chances to do the right thing, like with the Kuatoa, with the slavers. Like I've given them opportunities to do either the bad or the good, and they picked the good so far. But I've also made it where picking the good doesn't necessarily mean you've done the best job you can. And going forward, the moral dilemma keeps popping up. But yeah, so they kill her, and they're like, okay, we're going to go to Hag's End, we're going to find King, we're going to bring him to justice. And that's where that session ended. Next session is where we introduce the other character, who I won't spoil right now. But he comes into play. And yeah, from there, the campaign really started picking up. We played, I don't know how many sessions since then, but it comes into effect. And I'm really looking forward to talking about the rest, because I enjoy these. I enjoy the rambling type of videos I make. I'm just remembering and going through the nostalgia, because I really like this campaign. This has been one of my, like I said, it's my favorite campaign to date. Like, Death Crew was great, the campaign before that was great, but this one really just takes the cake, and I'm looking forward to talking about it more.